If you look at in your pink packet on page 7, it goes through the steps on how to expand. So if you don't remember, go ahead and open up your note packet to page 7 for a little bit of a reminder. Let's go ahead and put our phones away, please. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Happy Monday. Let's not have any S1s this week. Let's make it a great week. We already got a 4-day week. Well, everybody but juniors. Sorry to the juniors. Okay. So the very first step is to separate a fraction with what? How do we separate a fraction when we're expanding? Subtraction. So I'm going to break this apart, and it's going to become the log little bitty 3 of x minus log little bitty 3 y squared. That's the first thing we're going to do, is separate our fraction with subtraction. All right, the second thing we're going to do is look for anything that's being multiplied. And if we look at x is not multiplied with anything, and neither is the y. So our next step would be to move our exponent, if we have any exponents, to the front. So I'm going to move this 2 right here. So we have log little bitty 3 of x minus, and then that 2 comes to the front, and it's log little bitty 3 of y. And that would be your final answer. All right, so now we're going to go to our notes. And I think we're on page 12. Oh, sorry, page 13. And we're going to look at a new key on our calculator. And that new key, if you look at your calculator, you have your screen, and then you have the green key here. And then if you hop down 2 keys, this key right here, that stands for natural log. That's the key that we're going to work with today. So this key here, this is a common log. This has a base of 10. And then we have our natural log, which has a base e. So that's the key we're going to work with today. And a natural log is simply a log with a base e. So let's start off by rewriting things in log form. And I have the rules behind me if you don't remember the rules behind my head. So to write it in log form, you would start off by writing the word log. The base of this log is e. And then next you would have the 14. And that equals your exponent, which is x. Now, the last thing to remember, or our new thing to remember, I should say, is that anytime you have a log with the base e, it actually is a natural log. So we're going to change that to ln. A log base e is a natural log. So your final answer would be natural log of 14 equals x. All right, let's look at question B. So we have a log base e. And now we're going to go to our exponent, of x, or sorry, to our answer. Our answer is x. And that equals the exponent, which is 7. And again, anytime you have a log with a base e, our new lesson, that's our focus for today, that's really a natural log. And that would be your final answer. Any questions so far? Pretty basic. All right, let's go to our next row. Let's work through it together. So we have a log with a base e. 4x equals 5. So again, remember that a log with a little bitty e is actually a natural log of 4x equals 5. Go ahead and try to do D on your own. All right, who agrees with my answer? Natural log of 6 equals 3x. Raise your hand or thumbs up if you had that. All right, good. Good job. Couple more, and then we'll practice going the other direction. So again, we start off with our log. The base of our log is e. Now notice that this is my argument. Our argument is more than one thing, so we're going to actually put it in parentheses. So if it was just x or just 4, we wouldn't need the parentheses, but because it's x plus 4, let's go ahead and put that in parentheses. And that equals our exponent, which is 7. This becomes a natural log because that's what a log base e is. And this would be my final answer. All right, go ahead and try to do F. All right, who agrees with my answer? Natural log, put parentheses because it's more than one thing. Okay, any questions about example 1? All right, so now let's go from log to exponential form. So I think the first thing that is helpful is to rewrite this as a log base e. Because remember, that's what a natural log is. A natural log is simply a log with the base e. So now we're ready to rewrite this in exponential form. So that would be e to the power of x equals 9. And that is your answer. So again, a natural log is just a log with a little bitty e. So for this one, it would be e to the power of 3x equals 4. All right, next row. Again, natural log is a log with a little bitty e of x equals 6. So when you rewrite this, it would be e, what's the exponent? Not x, what would be my exponent? 6 equals x. And that would be your final answer. So we have the log base e of 8x equals 10. So that would be e to the power of 10 equals 8x. Pretty easy, right? So we're just learning. Those are the only two logs that you have on a calculator. A common log, which has a base 10, and a natural log, which has a base e. All right, I want you all to try to do number 14 on your own. I'm going to come around and check your answers. So for the first part, it says identify the base and the argument. This one says rewrite this in exponential form. And then I want you to rewrite the third one in log form. So I'm going to give you a minute to answer those 3 questions, and then we'll go through them together. All right, let's go ahead and work through it together. So we have a natural log, and the natural log is just a log with a base e. So I think I'm just going to rewrite it like that. So this is a log little bitty e 7 equals x. So what is my base? What is the little bitty letter? In this case, it's a letter. Well, it's actually a number, but it's kind of like pi is 3.14. E is 2.72. So the base of a natural log is e. This is your argument. This is your exponent. So let's go ahead and identify these components. So your base is e, your argument is 7. All right, so let's go ahead and rewrite the second one in exponential form. So a natural log is a log with a base e, 10 equals x. So if you were to write this in exponential form, you should have e to what power? X equals what? 10. That's your answer. And then for your last one, we have log base e. And then what would come next? The 5 or the 2x? 5 equals 2x. So if you left it like that, that is okay. However, anytime you have a log with a little bitty e, you need to remember what does that actually equal? What should we change that to? Natural log. So the right answer would be the natural log of 5 equals 2x. So this is the best answer. So anytime you see a log with a little bitty e, I want you to change it to ln. All right, couple more and then we'll start working on homework together. So who remembers what subtraction changes to? Does subtraction change to a fraction or multiplication? So subtraction becomes a fraction. So we will have the natural log, and you make your fraction bar. In the numerator, you have 10. In the denominator, you have 5. Now, because we have two numbers, we can actually keep going. What is 10 divided by 5? If you're not sure, type it in your calculator. 10 divided by 5 is 2. All right, so now we're going to use our natural log key. It says round to 3 decimals. So I want you to pick up your calculator, hit the ln button, and the number 2. So you're going to hit the ln button and the number 2. And if we only list the 3 numbers after the decimal, you should have that it's approximately equal to 0.693. And that would be your answer. So both of these are actually the answer. This is an answer. This is the second part. All right. What does addition become? Addition becomes multiplication. So this time we're not going to have a fraction. We're going to actually multiply. So I'm going to multiply, and that's going to give me the natural log of 3 times 4. And what is 3 times 4? 12. Go ahead and type that in your calculator. So this is part 1 of your answer. Part 2, type it in. Hit the ln key. 12, hit enter. And you should get that it's approximately equal to 2.485. And that would be your final answer. Any questions? Anyone not getting those numbers with the key? Again, the natural log key is 2 hops down from the green key. It's right under the common log. Your 2 log keys are right next to each other. All right, last 2. Now we have an exponent. First thing we're going to do is move the 2. It becomes an exponent. So that would be the natural log of 4 squared minus the natural log of 2. And 4 squared is 16. So now we have the natural log of 16 minus the natural log of 2. Subtraction becomes a what? Division. So you're going to have the natural log, make your fraction button, 16 divided by 2. Instead of 16 times 2, it becomes division. 16 divided by 2 is 8. So that's the first part of your answer. Now go ahead and type that in. And you should get 2.079 approximately. Now we can only use our calculator when we don't have variables. Now when we look at D, D has an X. So we won't be able to use our calculator because we don't know what X is. But we can condense it down. First thing I see is that we have an exponent, so we're going to move that. It becomes the natural log of x cubed plus the natural log of 5. And then what does addition become? Multiplication or a fraction? Multiplication. So these two are multiplied together. So that becomes the natural log of x cubed times 5. Now, although there is nothing wrong with this answer, generally, whenever you're multiplying, the number should come first. So the best way to write this, especially for my seniors, it's going off to maybe to some college, is to always put your number in front of. So this will go here. This is the best answer, but they're both correct. All right, so now let's transition over to homework 4. First thing first, homework 3 is due today for full credit. Can you all write that homework 4 is due on Wednesday?